I'm back with another educational beauty video, and in today's video I'm going to be covering the best foundations for mature skin. I've been reading your comments and this is my answer to your comments. So we're going to be covering my top foundations that I believe are perfect for mature skin. They're tried and tested. I'm going to talk you through them. Very easy video, very informative, and hopefully you'll get what you need from this video, which actually I know you will do. But don't forget, I do also have an online publication called Confessions of a Creative, which covers different topics like culture, self, health, beauty, fitness, a bit of everything, just life in general, very raw and authentic. So I know you're going to love it. You can subscribe for free or you can opt for the paid version, which costs you around £1 a month and gives you some really detailed articles, which I don't always cover those topics on this channel, and their product suggestions, like reviews, very detailed. So I think you're going to love it. Plus we get a room where we can say hi to each other, which is pretty cool. So I'd love it if you could show your support there. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. I'm also on Instagram, so please don't forget to say hi there too. Now let's head straight into this video. I'm going to go through the list of foundations that I believe are the best for mature skin, and these are based on the fact that I've used them on my clients with mature skin, and they themselves have told me how amazing it's lasted on their skin, how it sat perfectly in their skin, and I'm going to talk you through each one. But it doesn't mean that the first one I start with is the best. These are just a collection of the best foundations. No particular order of priority or anything or my preference. It's just the collection and we're going through them one by one. The first one that I want to talk about is the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. This foundation is amazing for any skin type, specifically mature skin, because it has a great selection of shades. It is ultra fluid, so it's great for dry skin too, like I mentioned. If I did mention that, I can't remember if I did, but it is very good. It's very weightless, so you don't feel that heavy feeling. It has roughly around 36 shades, I think, that are available within the range. It's buildable, so initially when you first apply it, you will get that really nice sheer kind of coverage to your skin, so it's not like amazing coverage to begin with, but it is buildable. The great thing is it's perfect if you want a very light finish, like you actually don't want that much coverage either. Plus I feel like this foundation works very well with concealers. So because it's so fluid, you can actually go in with a slightly heavier concealer to give yourself that coverage, and just in the areas that you maybe want it, and then keep this as your main base for all over and just use a concealer on the areas that you feel that you need it. It mixes in very, very well, and I would say if you use a kind of normal concealer with it to give you that extra coverage, it kind of just elevates the whole look that this gives you. It is a self-setting foundation, so you don't have to use powder on it. This is the great thing for dry skin or mature skin. Generally, mature skin is usually a little bit drier. It doesn't mean all mature skin is like that though. But in general, you will find that mature skin is slightly more drier than usual. If you feel that you have a lot of lines on the face, then I would suggest maybe using a powder just to set it. And even if you were to use like the Pat McGrath powder that they have in different shades, you can also use that. It works really well with this foundation. This has to be the first foundation that I would recommend. Again, not in any specific order. Even though this is quite a popular foundation, I do feel like it's kind of below the radar. Like I feel like not a lot of people talk about this foundation for mature skin, and it is an absolutely amazing foundation for mature skin. You'll have to let me know how you get on if you do end up getting this foundation. If you struggle with how you want to use it, then let me know. Maybe you could actually like head over to my online publication, drop me a message on there, become a paid subscriber, because then I can actually like maybe follow up on one of the requests that you may have and maybe even do a whole article on that. There are other products that you could use to just kind of like almost assist these foundations to become even better than what they are. Today I just want to talk about the best foundations, and then you may already have your way that you set them and everything, but this is one of the products that I would highly recommend. Next is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Foundation. I've been using this foundation for years on mature skin, even on like normal skin, combination skin, even on oily skin. This foundation is, I would say, just like goodness in a bottle. It just makes everyone's skin look good. This is a very, very good foundation to have. This is actually classed, I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe it's classed as a full coverage foundation. But when you apply it, it isn't actually, it's not the kind of full coverage you imagine. It's not like thick and cakey at all. It's very fluid, and if you actually want to dilute it a little bit in terms of the coverage, you can always mix it in with a primer, like a gel-based primer, or you could mix it in with a moisturizer and it will just lighten it all up. So if you can turn any foundation usually into a much lighter coverage foundation by mixing it in with a moisturizer. But this is very easy to blend on the skin. It's great on dry skin as well. Obviously it can be used on the body as well. It gives a luminous finish to the skin, so it's very kind of healthy skin that you see coming through. I do feel like you don't really need concealer with this. I feel like the coverage is pretty good. It's very, very good at building it up. Anytime I've applied this to mature skin, even myself, I'm instantly kind of like shocked at the results that I get. It just makes everyone's skin look good, and it lasts really well throughout the day. And like I mentioned earlier, personally, I cannot say to you that there's any specific foundation that lasts without powder. I always feel like powder kind of has to be included in foundation in order for it to like last all day and for it to like give you the kind of like long wear finish that you want, and that kind of sweat proof or sweat resistant kind of like added bonus to it. Like a foundation on its own with nothing else on it is gonna kind of like transfer. It is probably not going to last all day. Powder really does kind of lock everything in. This is such a great foundation for mature skin. Now I'm gonna be honest, most of these foundations are pretty expensive, but I do feel that if you're looking for a foundation that actually really does kind of like tick all the boxes, majority of the time, especially when you have mature skin, I feel like people are willing to kind of like spend the money because it's such a struggle to find a foundation which is so good, you know? I haven't come across a drugstore foundation that is amazing on mature skin. If I do, I will always let you guys know. But these are the foundations that I use because I can rely on them, and I feel like my clients are always happy when I use them. Next is my NARS Sheer Glow foundation. Such an amazing foundation. This works on any skin type. Now, I have actually heard a couple of people say that they don't feel that this works on mature skin. I have used this on mature skin clients and it has worked so well. I do believe you need to prep the skin properly no matter what foundation you're using, so make sure that you are actually prepping your skin correctly with the right kind of skincare. So make sure that if you have dry skin or it looks dry throughout the day, you want to make sure you're using a good serum which is helping to really hydrate the skin, so it's kind of like treating the skin underneath your moisturizer. And then on top of that, obviously using a moisturizer which has got that really nice kind of like hyaluronic acid in there, something which is going to keep delivering that hydration to your skin throughout the day so that you don't feel like your skin is kind of like drying out. This is a kind of, it does give you a sheer finish, but you can build it up. Personally, I feel like this gives you a really nice luminous finish to the skin. And I feel like generally when you have mature skin, if I'm working on someone with mature skin and maybe their skin is a little bit drier, I do feel like I want that luminous finish, because if I make everything look matte, fine, it's going to probably last all day, but it will also end up looking cakey. And secondly, it will just enhance all the kind of deep lines and any kind of depression lines that you have in the skin. Whereas when you have a luminous finish to the skin and you have like mature skin or slightly drier skin, it can just give you that kind of almost that new lease of life to your skin. It just makes your skin look alive and just more healthy and glowy, and it just looks good. The only thing that I struggle with this foundation with is that it doesn't come with a pump. So that's how it comes. And I just don't understand why they didn't put a pump on this, because obviously the price point for all of these foundations is pretty high. I would just assume you would give a pump with this. That's my only qualm about this product. It's my only issue, that it just doesn't have a pump, because it can end up getting messy, and you know, like if you're not used to putting it on the back of your hand, it's just a bit kind of messy. So that's my only issue with that. But otherwise, I love this foundation, especially for mature skin. I feel like if you were to use your serum, which is hydrating, your moisturizer, which is obviously hydrating, and then let that sink in, and then go over your moisturizer with your kind of like a nice hydrating primer, something like the Milk Hydro Grip, which is hydrating. It also delivers hydration throughout the day. Then you go in with a foundation like this. It is amazing. It gives the most amazing finish. Next up is a new foundation. It's the Surreal Skin foundation from Makeup by Mario. It's a foundation which I have only recently started using, and I absolutely love it because it has certain ingredients in there that help to kind of like keep the moisture locked into the skin. It does give like a slightly kind of almost glossy finish to the skin, not glossy in the sense like lip glossy. I'm talking about like just almost glass skin. It really does make your skin look good. It has like these very, very tiny specks of shimmer in there, super tiny. It's only if you really look carefully, but that gives that kind of luminous finish to the skin and it spreads like butter on the skin. So it's very good for all skin types, but including mature skin. Mature skin, you're going to absolutely love this. Like your skin is going to be like, just give me more, give me more. It's very, very good. I would say you only need one pump because it actually does spread really, really well over the skin. And like any foundation that I've mentioned, I would suggest using a very good moisturizer underneath, something like a rich moisturizer if you have quite dry skin. That in itself is going to help how this foundation looks, like how any of these foundations look on your skin. So there are, like I said earlier, there are little kind of components which are external, like little things that you could add, other products which really kind of elevate every foundation that I'm talking about. But the foundations on their own are amazing. So this foundation, like I said, spreads like butter over the skin. Amazing if you use like a rich moisturizer underneath, like anything to help it kind of spread even more. It gives you really good coverage. Like I said, one pump only is enough, but you can build it up if you want to. I would highly recommend using this with a brush, and then if you want to use a sponge, you can do and just use it in the areas that you want to use it in. I would recommend kind of applying it in the center and then working your way out because usually you don't need as much on the perimeter of the face. It also offers a great shade range, so you won't be disappointed. Find your shade, and I know you're going to love this foundation. Next up is my Dior Forever Skin Glow. So this is like a little mini, like medium-sized version because I got like a whole pack sent over. Amazing foundation. I mean, I love the Forever Matte and the Forever Skin Glow. So I just love the Forever foundations from Dior. They're so good. This is probably one of the first foundations I used on myself and on clients with mature skin that has skincare ingredients in there. So this is why I recommend this one for mature skin. It isn't going to give you that matte finish. Yes, it's great coverage. I would say this is medium to full coverage, like you can build it up, but you can also dilute it by adding a little bit of this to your moisturizer if you want a much more sheer finish. Now, what I love about this is it's packed with skin loving ingredients. So it's packed with ingredients in there which are so good for your skin. So you feel like actually your skin is getting better as you use this. Every time you use this, your skin's getting better. I feel like better came out really with this because I'm trying to say so much. I'm so excited about it. But anyway, this is going to blow your mind. All these foundations are amazing, but honestly, I feel like this is probably one of the ones that I've been using the longest alongside actually the Dior Face and Body. This is amazing. This is really, really good. I feel like it gives you that SPF coverage as well. I think it's SPF 20 that you have in this. Good shade range. I don't feel like the shade range is amazing in comparison to some of the other newer foundations, but if you find your foundation shade, it's great. It's amazing. This foundation is hydrating. It gives you long wear. So like this will give you amazing wear throughout the day. It stays put. It stays looking fresh. You get that lip from within glow. And it kind of checks all the boxes, to be honest. I feel like this really does do it all. I like applying this all over with a brush and then applying a powder just on the areas that I feel that I need it. Now, obviously there are other things that you can do to kind of like help these foundations from not sitting in lines and things like that. I do have an article coming out soon which is on my online publication, which is like talking about how to avoid the creasing and how to like stop that kind of makeup sitting in those lines. So you might want to head on over. I believe that's going to be published under the paid version of my publication. There are so many more other things that you can do. Like if I pick one of those foundations, I know any one of those foundations is amazing because I recommend them all for mature skin. But if I pick one of those foundations, I know that I can elevate it so much more by using the right powder, by using the right moisturizer underneath, and by targeting certain areas. So applying the powder in the right place, applying the foundation with the right tool. There are so many other things that you can do that can really kind of like help you to get the most out of that foundation. So it's not just about picking a foundation, putting it on, and then being like, I don't feel like it's giving me what I should get. There are other things that you need to do too. We don't have those kind of miracle products around, I'm afraid. So just remember that there are things that you need to do to help make it better. If you pick one of these foundations and you put it on your skin and you haven't even put moisturizer moisturizer on, sorry, but you can't turn around and say that it doesn't work well because you haven't prepped your skin well to begin with. So you've got to make sure that you are doing what you need to do to make sure that you get the best out of these foundations, because anyone can go off, a brand can go off and make a foundation and they make a great foundation. But ultimately there are so many different skin types today, so many different people, millions of people with different skin types. Like, they're not going to be able to cater to everyone. So you need to do your little bit to make sure that you get the best out of this foundation. So I really do hope that you go away and reevaluate your foundations that you have. Think about the ones that I have mentioned here today. You might want to try one of these out. They're all listed in my description box below, so you can head on over and it will take you straight to the links where you can get those foundations as well. And yeah, I really do hope you've enjoyed this video today. I really wanted to kind of do this because I've had a lot of you talking about, oh, please could you recommend the best foundations for mature skin? So here we are. I really do also hope that I see you over on my online publication, and that you do head over to my vlog channel and say hi there and subscribe there. That would mean the world to me. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button so that you never miss any of my future videos. Until the next video, take care and I'll see you soon.